A few summers ago I volunteered for the Filipino non-profit organisation Bahay Tuluyan. It supports street children in the Philippines and also brings 2 former street children to Australia with Kath, an Australian volunteer, and they tour the country and talk to kids here about how they can make a difference for children in other parts of the world. The Tasmanian Centre for Global Learning has been hosting the Tasmanian part of that tour for the past few years, and this year we revamped the program and we developed the Your Home, Our World project. And as well as hearing the stories of Angel and Nonoy, the 2 former street children, we did a full-day workshop where the kids learnt about the Millennium Development Goals. Since the forums, we've been supporting all the schools involved with an ongoing project, and in that project they've connected with an organisation in a developing country and supported them one-on-one with kids, getting to know the kids in that organisation and working out what that organisation actually needs to improve its situation.
Hey, look at that house! Bahay? I will buy one like that when I am big. Wow.
One of the approaches that Bahay Tuluyan really finds effective in working with kids is a child-to-child approach, where we have young people working with other young people. Angel and Nuno's presentation talks about what poverty does to young people and what impact it really has on real people's lives. And I think that's a very powerful thing for young people to see, because they relate directly to Nuno and Angel, and part of their play they're showing how they're just normal kids and they're playing, but at the same time they have to work incredibly long hours on the street. They suffer abuse and violence as a result of poverty.
Let's give them one big round of applause.
We hosted a child right forum where we met 2 street children from the Philippines, and we learned about their lifestyle and about poverty, and then we went and learned about the 8 Millennium Development Goals.
Leaders of the world got together and they decided 8 of the most important things in the world that they'd like to try and change, and our class decided to focus on Millennium Goal number 1.
Rugby High is one of the schools that hosted a child rights forum and then participated in an ongoing project about global poverty and the Millennium Development Goals. The teacher incorporated the project in the curriculum using a process called ruMAD. ruMAD stands for Are You Making a Difference, and is an award-winning Australian education framework that helps teachers ensure that students remain engaged in the learning process. ruMAD is a structured process that is done in 8 easy steps, the 8 keys to madness.
TV.
Independence.
Skateboard.
The first step of our ruMAD process is to discover the students' values as a class.
3 for freedom.
You generally come up with 3 main ones that the kids have voted on. You just make sure everyone agrees with that.
Our winners are family, freedom and love. Do we all agree that those are our most important values? Does everyone agree on that? Yeah, we're happy? Excellent, they're our values then. Good.
You do the same process for things that the students are concerned about, what things make them mad, sad or worried. Once you've got that part, you can actually come up with a vision statement, so you get the students to think about what the world might look like in 20 years if some of the things that they were concerned about didn't exist anymore.
What kind of things do you think we should include in a vision statement? What's some of the things that you've picked up off here that you're finding really...
World.
Sorry, having a beautiful world, so something looking beautiful.
Our community thing.
Including words about the community. Yep.
Having respect for each other.
Respect for each other. And respect for the environment around us too.
So their vision statement might start with, our vision is for a community which, and it goes from there depending on what the class or the students value and what they're concerned about.
Research is a really important part of the ruMAD process, so keys 2 and 3 are both about students researching how to make a difference. So in key 2, which is mad ideas, Students inquire what it means to make a difference by looking at the stories of people who have made a difference, famous people, local people, and learning from those stories.
Give a person a fish and they can eat for a day is a little bit like what we did with Rhiannon, where she...
Then in Key 3, students are presented with hypothetical situations and they learn that you can solve a problem in a number of ways.
Okay. First one was
You can have a quick fix solution which only addresses a problem's symptoms, or you can have a longer term solution where you get to the causes and create real social change.
Yeah, exactly. That was the point of that activity.
Because this is on the MDGs, you'll be able to look at the education MDG, which brings me on to the resources I brought you. Throughout the ruMAD process, the Tasmanian Centre for Global Learning researches and provides schools with resources. At this particular stage of ROKB's project, we were able to provide them with contacts with useful organisations, both locally and overseas.
My kids were really inspired after the Child Rights Forum to do some research and do something about poverty and Millennium Development Goal 1. They really wanted to work with an organisation in a developing country, so they chose the Tabitha Foundation that is based in Cambodia because of a local link.
With the Tabitha Foundation, they actually give them a savings program to show them how to save money, and then they get the money at the end so they can build houses and everything.
They can work their way out of poverty by themselves without giving them money and just saying, go use it.
From there, we decided that we'd like to do a concert to help raise awareness.
We were just thinking about things we could do to help and that. And I'm not sure who, but someone came up with the idea, oh, let's have a concert and that.
Well, first we wrote down some options on a piece of paper, and then we had a vote, and everyone decided that a big concert would be great.
Like, lots of people get involved, it's a fun thing to do, and it helps other people around the world, and it was just an awesome idea.
At the start, we all got really excited, because at the start it was like just a small thing, but we were still excited about it anyway, and then it just snowballed and got bigger.
After a while, we actually thought we could do it.
Time, talent, treasure. What we need to do now, guys, is we need to think about how we're going to pull off this concert all the way in October. We need to think about who has got the time to do certain things and what time we need, how much time we need to do certain jobs. We need to think...
Key 5, planning change, we did the time, talent, treasure activity. The kids had to think about what time we had, what talent we needed to source, and treasure was all the little items that we were going to need, right from sausages to audio and sound equipment for the concert.
Jacob.
We'll need tickets.
Tickets? Yeah, good idea. Holly, have you got a suggestion?
Barbecues.
MySpace and some other websites. Visiting schools.
Yeah, good idea.
Put posters up.
Posters? Yep, excellent. Oh, we probably need to make a poster, don't we?
Yeah. We could get a graphic designer to make
Oh, yeah. Luke.
So that was a major step for them, realising that it's not just let's put on a concert and invite some people to perform. They actually had a lot of organising to do, and that's the process where they figured out exactly what we needed to do in the months that were coming up.
At this stage of the project, students begin connecting with the community because they now know what they need and who they need to ask for help to make it happen. Rule an arrow going across those 3 days and then right across the whole 3 days, E&E week.
Yeah, okay.
This is the one where we went from the idea stage right through the brainstorming stage and the planning who was going to be in what team to the part where the kids actually got out there and did some of the things and they started to take action. And they really felt proud that they were taking on those roles because they were the roles that they were interested in.
And it just stretches right across the curriculum from maths right through literacy and SOS.
Do you have any useful contacts for us?
I think, have you thought about contacting Production Works?
Yes.
You got that written down? Yep.
Yes.
Because they...
It's just a real great way for the kids to learn life skills and just to be out there doing things and achieving things, taking on responsibilities and doing things that they don't normally get to do.
Well,
just preparing for the concert for Cambodia, which is basically raising money for a school in Cambodia.
Our goal is to get $10,000 out of it all, and we're expecting about 500 people to be here.
I'm looking forward to the concert because I reckon it's going to be really fun and everyone have a great time.
The day before the concert, it was great. We were all up in the gym, every single one of my students. We had production works dropping off all the equipment. So we had students helping with the setup of the lighting and the audio. We had students putting up all the decorations in the gym. There were so many things that they were working on throughout that day, and they did not stop during the day.
They never run away from me, they stand up strongly, waiting for saying goodbye to the land plus.
ruMAD is about change, not charity. And what was great about the concert was that it was focused on raising awareness of international poverty in the local community. So as well as the great performances that were there was information from organisations working on poverty, and there were guest speakers and students speaking about poverty during the night.
We put off a concert, which is really big in that. So basically, if you put your mind to it and actually really try hard, you can do what you want and help people.
At the beginning of the concert, not everybody knew how people in underprivileged countries lived, and by the end of the concert, everybody knew what it would be like if they had to.
Now, before our guests arrive, we've had 2 fantastic Go Mad workshops. So we're going to hear now from each of those workshops just what's happened and how you've been making a difference. Can I invite the first one?
Rugby came to the Child Rights Forum, so they chose to do a project about poverty, but ruMAD can be about anything that your students are concerned or passionate about. And at the end of the ruMAD process, the TCGL hosts a Youth Action Conference, which gives students a chance to interact with other change makers. And there you see that they've worked on projects as diverse as mental health and climate change.
We've been doing things about how polluted the water is, and things about discrimination and how it affects everybody.
This is our first session. We got choose 4 different things. There was mistreatment of animals, sick people, disabled people, and poverty. And we chose poverty.
With our class, we've been tackling teenage health and preventing peer pressure.
It's been very different. It's a very new experience. I've enjoyed it, and I think we all learn a lot.
The ongoing Your Home Our World project has been about empowering students to know that they can make a change to eradicating extreme poverty, and teaching them about community development rather than just fundraising.
We really value the partnership between the developed world and the developing world, and in how young people in both places can work together to try and beat poverty.
To know that nothing's impossible, and we can make a difference, and it doesn't matter who you are or how old or what school you go to or how smart you are, you can make a difference in people's lives.
What I learnt to be was more responsible for my actions and others, and to not just be focused on my small world but the bigger world around me.
It's been a great boost to be able to engage students in a real study of something that interests them and captures them in the learning process.
For us at the Tasmanian Centre for Global Learning, this has been a fantastic opportunity for Tasmanian students to be really engaged in learning about global poverty and Australia's role in doing something about it.